Hello! This lesson is about one of the most important but least understood skills of a modern leader, strategic thinking. It's not a buzzword or something you can impress an investor with at a pitch. It's the ability of a leader to see the business in context, make decisions with an eye to the future, and create an environment where the team is moving toward a common goal, not just completing tasks. What is strategic thinking in practice? Let's start with the most important thing. Strategic thinking is not about thinking 5 years ahead. It's about seeing the impact of today's decisions on tomorrow's consequences. It's like playing chess. You don't have to know all the moves in advance, but you need to understand that each move changes the situation on the board. This is the ability of a leader to see the whole picture, not just the numbers of the month, set priorities, and not be overwhelmed by everything at once. Think about causes and consequences rather than simply reacting to events. And most importantly, form the logic of change, not adapt to chaos. Where to start with strategic thinking? It's worth starting with a very simple but not obvious idea: the realization that your business is part of a system. And this system is not limited to your product or internal processes. There is a market, customers, competitors, macroeconomics, war, new technologies. All of this affects you, even if you don't pay attention to it. And the sooner you start to see your company not as an isolated island, but as part of this system, the faster strategic thinking begins to develop. Another important aspect is the ability to work with uncertainty. The world no longer gives us stability for years to come, and a strategist is not someone who has predicted everything, but someone who knows how to model options, someone who thinks not with one plan, but with several scenarios. What will happen if we enter a new segment? What if client behavior changes? What if the exchange rate falls? This is not panic. This is preparation, because a strategist is not a prophet, but an analyst who thinks in terms of options. And this is where artificial intelligence comes to the rescue. AI, and DeepSeek in particular, is not a magic wand that solves everything. It is a powerful ally that allows you to see what you might miss. It collects signals, analyzes connections, and suggests where things are weak and where they can be strengthened. But importantly, it does not think for you. It strengthens your strategic thinking, if it already exists. To think strategically, you need one more thing: the ability to step out of the operational routine. This is probably the most difficult part, because tactics are addictive. They give you a sense of control. You close a task, solve a problem, relieve tension. But if you are constantly inside the tasks, you don't see the direction. You don't see whether this road is leading you to where you want to go. That is why it's worth creating space for yourself to think. Allocate time, not for emails, not for meetings, not for KPIs, but for reflection, for analysis, for observation, for formulating hypotheses. Strategy is not born in a plan. It is born in silence, in distance from everyday life, when you can look at everything from above. My advice for making the switch is to ask yourself, am I thinking or just acting? This simple question often changes your focus. I also know that to start thinking strategically means being ready to make difficult decisions. Not always popular, sometimes incomprehensible to the team, because it's not just about what to add and scale. Very often, it's about what to give up, not to take on everything, not to chase everyone, but to concentrate consciously, painfully, but effectively. And most importantly, strategic thinking is not about the right answers. It's about the right questions. Are we in the right market? Is this what we should be selling? Is this really where we're going? Are our strengths being used at all? In this course, we won't just work with analytics. We'll work on your way of seeing, because it's in the ability to see deeper than others that a strategy capable of withstanding challenges is born. So I invite you to continue. It will be deep, and it will be honest.